Welcome, this is Ona with Art of Awakening, and it's coming up on the full moon in July 2019. We're going to do a reading for the full moon, which happens to be a partial lunar eclipse in parts of the world. So it's kind of a biggie. It is in Capricorn, and we'll just see what wants to come up. I'm using a spirit animal deck. It's not mine this time. It is the medicine cards deck. Here, I'll show it to you. That's what we're using. This is the back. They're kind of cool, lightning. And if you're wondering about the painting in the background, this is a piece in progress that I actually started last fall. And maybe it was late summer. Late summer or fall, and it's just been sort of sitting there all winter. I'm really hoping that the masking fluid comes off. If it doesn't, I'll have to kind of figure out what to do about it. But I'm thinking I may just start finishing it up sometime soon. But since this past few weeks, there have been so many weird things happening, just a wonky energy. I've been hearing all sorts of interesting tales from all sorts of people. Robberies and mustard gas, believe it or not. It's, yeah, seriously, a mustard gas incident that one of my roommates shared. It was on accident, so don't worry. I've heard about, bullets flying, lots of bugs, just wonky stuff happening. So, that's typically what happens when there is a major shift. So I don't see it as anything to worry about, just sort of an indication of just some pretty intense energy shifting. All right, so we will see what comes forward. I'm just going to lay these out. And I'll start with these. I may do another couple. Okay, this one, horse. Okay, so this would be kind of where we're coming from. Horse energy, this is a wild Mustang. This one is looks pretty riled up, and that does really pretty accurately describe some of these energies that have been coming forward. Sort of unpredictability. This is, sort of the horse has a lot of different aspects, right? So this is kind of the rebel aspect of horse. Sort of the dark side of horse, although there's really there's dark and light, and it really depends on, sometimes I call it the shadow side. And shadow, one has to keep in mind that shadow can actually serve us. And in this case, it's really, I think there's a lot of shadow stuff coming up to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be cleared, maybe thinking of a horse just kind of kicking its heels and kicking stuff away, right? So yeah, just a lot of sort of unsettledness coming into this moment here, where this is going to be, oh my, okay, I always love when these come up. That's a blank card. And that's an indication, well, if you have it yourself, you can always draw an animal in there if you've got a deck that has blank cards like this. Or what I'd like to do, if I'm reading for a person, sometimes I ask them, well, do you have an animal that you really connect with? Or I'll just feel into it and see what animal wants to come forward. Okay, so this is going to be the card that's really kind of describing this full moon energy right now. And let me just tune in. And beaver's coming forward. Which isn't surprising for Capricorn. I think of beaver as, it's a very hardworking animal. You think of the busy beaver, but also, responsibility. So let me just kind of look deeper into that and see, because I think that's that association with Capricorn, and see if there's something that beaver wants to say in particular. And, you know, I'm just getting this image of chewing, of sinking the teeth in, and whatever that means to you, because that could come forward as different things to different people, right? I mean, it could even be an aggressive thing, like just to actually, you know, stand your ground and bite if you have to, or it could be sort of a warning. It's like, watch out for things that bite, right? I'm really seeing it. And that might be true for some people. I'm also seeing it though, and this is stronger that I'm getting, is just like, you know, time to maybe sink your teeth into something. It's like, is there something that you've been either putting off or wanting to do for a long time, and maybe haven't had the, you know, started getting like this procrastination feeling, if there's something that you've been procrastinating on, or haven't felt like you were up to it or anything. The energies right now, it feels like, are going to be very, very supportive of actually, this is coming up in reverse. So yeah, we'll see how that comes out. You know, because that's the image I'm getting, is sinking one's teeth in. And this may be that there's a decision that you've made, or you know, can think about making to actually sink your teeth into a certain project, right? And that, you know, the energies right now, they may test you in that, right? So if it's something that's really worth doing, you're probably going to expect things to come up to test that, to resist it. And these things may not be like, it might be just kind of everyday stuff, right? And, you know, whatever it is, that may be coming up, for just to make sure that you're really, really going to, you know, be that, have that ability to just stick to it, or really sink your teeth into it. For a group of people, it may actually be indicating that maybe it's time to relax. Okay, so I'm kind of seeing it as either, like, there's gonna be a group where it's just like, you don't even need to, like, you may be wanting to really sink your teeth in, but it might be better to chill, right? And just give things time and take care of yourself for a bit. And then for another group, it may be just really time to take the bull by the horns and sink your teeth into it, and just start. Now, the indication that I'm getting is like, maybe not like try to tackle it all at once. Maybe, you know, chewing a bit by bit, right? One mouthful at a time. And here's where we're heading. Oh my gosh, here's another one. Oh, this is always fun. And isn't it interesting how that is just mirroring this, right? I chose this particular piece, even though it's not done, because it has a lot of light, right? A lot of light to it. And, you know, it just feels like this is a time that is just calling to bring light into the situation. And I think that may be actually the meaning of this card, rather than feeling into another animal. You know, maybe it is hummingbird right there. It's just speaking right to that. Joy, you know, joy, freedom, and also, you know, understanding that freedom and boundaries go hand in hand, right? If you've ever seen a hummingbird defending its territory, you know, you're not going to get freedom if you don't have boundaries. You're just not. It's really, you know, it's one thing to like, it's easy to want freedom and just completely free, and wouldn't that be great, right? If everybody's but really, sometimes the fences actually create the freedom, and it sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes when we have sometimes when there's unrestrained freedom, it's really just sort of an excuse for things you know, maybe dark energies to come in, right? And so that is the whole idea of Archangel Michael and the sword and so forth, and to create those boundaries within which we can really flow free. And watercolor is actually, I'm glad I have this watercolor here, a really great medium for that, because do you see these, I'm going to put it aside here, something like this space here, right? This circle that I painted, and I don't have my paints with me. I can't really demonstrate, you know, in person, but like how I did this was I filled it full of water, like just I wet down this circle area, and you can see where some of that, the water just kind of went over the boundary. And then I dropped the paint right into it, and it just went, and so watercolor really just does demonstrate. It's just like there's a clear boundary between where it's wet and where it's not. And then when you drop the paint in it, the paint goes all over the place. It's just really free to go wherever it wants. But it stays within those boundaries because the boundaries are clear. You know, because the boundary is very, you know, tightly delineated. Versus if I took like a spray bottle or something, went, then it would just go freaking all over the place. Okay, so, and I think I will draw another couple cards. Let me see if this same deck wants to be used. Yeah, it's saying yes. All right, so I'm going to pull a card for opposing influences. So these would be, oh, this one fell out. Okay, raccoon in reverse. Okay, so I'm getting sort of rec for raccoon. Sort of like that mental thing, you know, just like they're very clever. So I'd say like right now it would be, and this is going to be like the monkey mind, or the little mind that says I know better, right? The ego mind that's like, oh, I have a solution for that, and it's got to be this way, and you know, or thinking like just overthinking things, right? So it's that little kind of wanting to manipulate stuff. So watching out for that, you know, for this full moon period would be probably in order. And then I'm going to pull one more card for supporting influences. Again in reverse, Jaguar. And let's see, Jaguar. Okay, so if you have any, this, like, what's going to be more supportive here is going to be, like, feel into that. I'm getting water, like the way the Jaguar just swims and goes in the water. So just letting it go with the flow. And a lot of cats don't like water, but jaguars definitely do like to swim. So I'm getting, like, the reason I'm saying that, because it's in reverse, it's sort of like I'm getting this kind of very kind of predator stare from this jaguar, and it's really not that. So we're looking at that other aspect of jaguar, just kind of really just going with the flow, right? So whatever, letting the water shed off your back, just visualizing water literally shedding off your back. Anything that's coming at you, just visualize it as water, and then you've got this beautiful thick coat of fur, and it's just like just streaming off the fur, just dripping right off. And you know, just going your way. I mean, jaguar's strong. Again, there's that biting aspect of jaguar, because it does, when it takes down its prey, it gives it a big bite at the base of the skull. So careful. I think that's because it was in reverse, sort of an indication. Again, with that beaver, that the tendency to bite somebody's head off. Just be careful of that. And if you know that you have that kind of tendency, just take some deep breaths. Maybe avoid people that you know might set you off, or conversely, if you like, that goes for everybody. Avoid the set off situations. Pick and choose who you are spending time with in the next few days. And I think the idea of the water shedding, that's really forgiveness, as well as just staying grounded. Okay, so this would be a really good time to practice forgiveness. I think the energies are going to be really good for that, because this is, what the energies have been like in the past, few weeks. And it's, we've had the solstice, we've had, these other eclipses. We are literally just really going into a new age. We really are. And, the more we can just forgive stuff right now, we're going to be going to that new age, fresh, clean, washed clean, with that water just washing, right? So forgiveness, a big theme right now, okay? Staying grounded, staying chill, owning things, like look for whatever it is that has been, procrastinated on. Like I said, we're going into a new age, a new phase, a new cycle. That's something that maybe you can pick up and start running with after this. But the forgiveness is going to really help with that. All right. So I hope that you found this helpful. Have a wonderful and chill full moon eclipse tomorrow. And if you would like a personal reading, I'll leave the link below. And that may be something that you've been procrastinating on, one of those procrastination things. If that's been something that's been kind of thinking about maybe getting a reading, it may be a fantastic thing to do starting with this new cycle that we're entering. If you've been procrastinating on it, maybe it's time. So just leave you with that thought, and if not, that's fine too. Love you regardless. And as always, I do appreciate your likes, your subscribes, your comments especially. Have a good one, and we'll catch you again next time.